Hi. Now then, probably the most common question we get asked once someone is interested in a website is, how much does this cost? The answer is, it's a piece of string. And the reason it's a piece of string is it depends on what you're trying to build. So what we thought we'd do with this video was explore a few of the factors that make a difference to the cost and a few factors that don't make a difference to cost, so that you will understand where we're coming from when we build a website. Now, when you're building a bespoke, and we're only talking about bespoke websites here, when you're building a bespoke website, we can do that anywhere from, really we get them down as low as £5,500, £6,000 sensibly, but they go all the way up. They can go up to £100,000 plus for a buildable website. It just depends on what you need to build. And so the question then comes back, how much do you want to spend? And it's not really a question to ascertain your budget, it's really a question to help us work out where on the spectrum we need to place you. And we can talk you through those different factors. And what we're going to do today is lay out a framework for thinking about it. So before we look at this framework, a few things that are always included. There's always a monthly license fee, and we have a separate video explaining how that works. There is always all of our base functionality. So anything that we have at our disposal, you are available to use within your website, and that's more than most other website builders will be able to start with. So you start from a very high base. But the job we're talking about here is the job of the build phase of a bespoke website. How you choose to embody that and deploy it within your design on the web. And the four big factors that we've got here that really make a big difference are the user experience work that you do, the visual design approach that you take, the level of responsiveness, I'm not even sure that's a word, that you want in your website, and the functionality that you want in your website. So let's take each of those at turn. If you were to try and build a really solid but basic website, you would want to minimize those variables. So the user experience, you can rely quite happily on the fact that HomeFlow has built several hundred estate agent websites. We've learned, we've tested, we've looked at the analytics on a lot of different designs. So you can just rely on our experience. We don't need to bring in users. We don't need to do user testing. You can just trust us that we know what we're doing when we build a website. We can build you a good usable experience. On visual design, you can go for a static, simple, clean, solid website. Very functional, very easy to use. Doesn't mean it doesn't need to be inelegant. They can still do great design, and some design firms are more cost effective. They can do great design at a lower price than other design firms where the graphic design is more of a rarefied commodity. On responsiveness, we'll talk lots in the resources library about what it means to have a responsive website. But it's not necessarily a given that you should just build a fully responsive website because you can. If you don't know about responsive websites, go and watch some of the videos on responsive, but you can build a perfectly good, solid, static website, and it can be better than a poorly built responsive website. But if you were going to try and keep costs to a minimum, you'd build for a static screen size. And then finally on functionality, as I say, you can benefit from all of the capability we have within our current platform, but you may not want to embody all of those pieces and work out how you get them all into the design, and you can build yourself a very solid basic site. And we need to be careful because when HomeFlow says a basic site, we're talking about a Porsche Boxster rather than a Porsche 911. It's still a fabulous site, much better than an average estate agent website. So if you minimized all those variables, you would keep the cost low. However, if you're a larger agency group, or you're strong in your town, or you want to create an edge and really help push the boundaries a bit, you'd start maximizing some of these characteristics. So you might take user experience. You might want to do lots of workshops. Often on our bigger builds, we'll have teams of people from within the business coming together to do workshop sessions. Some of our bigger clients will bring some of their customers in. Sometimes we'll do user experience testing to actually test some new design patterns on the website and see how people respond to them. You can interview, you can do proper user research, and that might be vendors, it might be landlords, it might be applicants, it might be employees that you're trying to model how they think about your website, and so that's proper usability testing. On visual design, you can use a more expensive designer, and you might like their visual design style. You can do a more elaborate design. That doesn't mean complex and fussy, it just means more involved. You can put much more effort into the interactive effects, or what we call the interaction model layer, things that move or whiz across the page, or menus that stick to the top of the menu bar, things that go a bit above and beyond an average static website design. On responsive, if you're building a big website with a reasonable budget, and it doesn't need to necessarily go as high as 100,000, even as soon as you're into low tens of thousands, you can consider pushing responsive. Then you would want to do responsive properly. We'll look at that separately in a video, what we mean by a highly responsive website. And finally, you might want to break new ground. As every new big agency group launches their websites, we look at them. Some of them we're doing, some of them are being built by other people. We're looking for new ground, new areas where people are pushing the boundaries, taking things a bit further than have been done previously. And you may have some ideas of your own that you want to push, or you may want us to sit down and brainstorm new areas. And breaking new ground, of course, is coding and becomes quite expensive. So that's the difference. That's the difference between a basic website, which can be solid and fantastic, and is going to take you, well above the level you're at the moment, right through to a market-leading, best in the UK, best of breed website. Please do get in touch, chat to us about it, come on in and meet the team, and we can talk to you about how it all works. Thank you very much.